every entrepreneur needs to be a good communicator. Whatever it is
Right.
you need to do to make that a reality, to accomplish that, that's consistent execution. Social media is really three main steps you got.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Blueprint Podcast, the podcast where we uncover the blueprint to success from people of all walks of life. Today, we are uncovering the blueprint for marketing. Today, we have with us Terrance Green. He is the founder of TJ Animations and DM Tech School, and he is also the marketing director at Chick-fil-A here in Starkville, not Starkville University, the town of Starkville. And he started his businesses in 2017 at Mississippi State. Thank you for coming today, TJ. I really appreciate you being on today. I'm excited for this conversation.
Oh yeah, it's my pleasure. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna dive right into the nitty gritty. Why marketing?
So to be honest, I thought I was gonna have a career in sales. So when I first got out of school, I went straight into sales.
Okay.
So I knew somewhere in communication
Okay.
that I had a knack for it.
Right.
And so when I was at Mississippi State, I started an animation business. And so one of the first things we were targeting was making animation for marketing.
Okay.
And so that was kind of like my entryway into the career, and I just kind of stuck with it.
Okay.
It just felt right.
Right. So okay. So you said you started with sales. Was your major marketing, or was it business admin, or communication?
So my first major was kinesiology. That was
Yeah.
like I wanted to play ball, and so
Right.
kinesiology is where you go to if you want to be a sports therapist,
Right.
or if you want to be coaching.
Right.
And so when basketball didn't work out, then I went to the entrepreneurship center at Mississippi State, started my business, and then I switched to business major after I already started my
Okay.
business.
So you weren't already business admin. You switched over after you started your business.
Yeah.
That's not a typical path. A lot of business owners that I've seen, like in the East Center,
Yeah.
they're either engineering, business,
Yeah.
or something to do with the school of business. So
Yeah.
they
yeah.
typically don't switch after the business.
Yeah, I follow the wave. Like, I just ride the wave and really just see
Right.
kind of the path that's laid in front of me. Like after basketball didn't work out, I've always had like an entrepreneurship spirit.
Right.
Like when I was in like second grade or whatever, I used to sell coloring book pages at the coloring book for like 50 cents.
Wow.
And the book itself would cost like $2.
Right.
So I'm talking about the profit margin
Up there, right? Yeah. Okay. So with that, how did you transition from sales to marketing? I know you said you had the animation through marketing, and that's what helped you. But as in terms of like switching from sales as a job to being now the director of marketing at Chick-fil-A, how did that switch come about, and how did you have to change to adjust to that?
If you want me to be real, to me, sales and marketing is within the same thing. Like,
Right.
it's really not a transition. Like, really, marketing, I would say, is sales to a mass amount of people.
Right.
Because you think about social media, if a business is trying to get more customers and they use social media, you're selling to however many followers,
Right.
however many people is within your social scope. You're still selling to them. And every entrepreneur is a salesperson. And now sales get such a bad rep because of all the scams,
Right.
car salesmen, high pressure tactics, whatever it is you may call it. And so I start saying every entrepreneur needs to be a good communicator.
Right.
Because sales, marketing, communication is all communication. Like
Right.
it's how do you communicate the value that you bring to somebody else's life, whether you're a salesperson, whether you're a marketer, whether you own your business. How can I communicate to you how I can solve your problem?
Right.
And that's at the end of the day, that's what that is.
Right.
So
Okay.
to me, it's not really that big of a switch.
Okay, I like how you put that because a lot of people say today sales and marketing is separate, and
Right.
you have to market before you sell and all of that. But it all really is just communicating your business through a story of how you can get that end result for that customer, whoever that may be. So it's really just communication. It's not marketing. It's not sales. It's
Right.
all just communication. I like
Exactly. And then trying to figure out which is which, like you were saying, some people say sales is different than marketing. You really kind of confuse yourself and you
Right.
lose the purpose of both.
Right.
Like you lose the purpose of why am I a salesman? Why am I a marketer? Like that's why a lot of businesses struggle with social media
Right.
because they're like, well, what do I put on social media as content? What platforms? Like when all you really need to think about is who do you communicate with? what value do you bring to them,
Right.
and how can they understand? And then right there, the content flows like a conversation.
Right.
That's
right.
all social media is a conversation.
Right. Of course. So you mentioned social media and like how people kind of struggle with social media. I feel like a lot of people kind of look for the secret ingredient
Right.
to social media and how to, pursue it. So what would you say, you just said think about it as communication, but
Yeah.
what other tips do you say to do social media like effortlessly?
I would say really think about why you started your business, because I find a lot of entrepreneurs, they just naturally start their business because they saw a problem.
Right.
Okay, boom. Who has that problem?
Right.
Like, so with my animation company, I'm targeting people who don't know much about marketing. They
Right.
need a way to communicate to their people.
Right.
And so right there, I just need to think about that ideal customer right there.
Mm-hmm.
What are they currently struggling with?
Right.
Where do they hang out online? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so think about platforms. So I'm targeting 35 to 55. So Facebook and LinkedIn
Right.
are going to be like you
Right,
see
the
right
key
there how I'm
platform,
breaking it
right.
down. Now I can look at the different options that I have.
Right.
And then when I come to content, okay, if they don't know much about marketing or social media, what type of content will help them?
Right.
Okay, content about social media, like secrets,
Right.
tips, tricks, different ways of how I've grown my business using social media. So now I got my content laid out.
Right.
And right there, that's where the effortlessly marketing kind of comes in, because the
Right.
hard part shouldn't be the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
It should be the consistent execution of marketing. That's the
Right.
hard part. Like me posting every day,
Right.
me consistently being on the platforms to where people keep seeing me. That's the
Right.
hard part.
Right.
The hard part is not the strategy,
Okay.
because we see Coca-Cola, McDonald's,
Right.
all these big companies everywhere, every places. Now I feel like as a
I
small
have
business
to be
owner,
everywhere, every place. Right.
I don't
right.
got that type of bread.
Right, facts. So you mentioned like how people what I took from what you just said is like if you plan and you actually know your business and you know what you're doing with your business,
Yeah.
your social media marketing should come effortlessly.
Yeah.
A lot of people would say that's not true is, what type of content do I make? That's what a lot of people struggle with. They say, oh, it's not effortless because I don't know if I need to make reels. I don't know if I need to make a picture post and stuff like that. So what would you say to those people about like trying to nitpick, what type of content they make?
Thinking about the wrong thing. You're thinking about the wrong
Right.
thing. Which you're not totally thinking about the wrong thing. Your focus is just a little off. So what I say to that is think about social media as if you were in a room. So let's say you have 100 followers.
Right.
Think about if we were in a classroom with those 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Now, what matters most is the message that
Right.
I do it. Now, of course, it matters the tone, whether I tell stories,
Right.
that comes after the message.
Right.
But the tone, stuff like that, after I get the message, boom, I got that down.
Right.
So when we think about reels, pictures, posts, that's your tone. That's
Right.
your delivery.
Okay.
You're thinking about the delivery before
the message.
Before the
Okay.
message.
That makes
so
sense. That makes sense.
now I need to think about, okay, so I would say with social media, it's really three main steps you got. What's your end goal? So
Right.
like how much money you trying to make this year, how many people you trying to impact, like if you're a nonprofit,
Right.
how many donations or people you trying to get in your program.
Right.
What is your absolute end goal? Not
Okay.
followers, not comments, none of that. End goal.
Right.
First step.
Okay.
Second step.
Mm-hmm.
What's your plan?
Okay.
How do you turn a stranger into a consistent customer? We can go more in detail about
Right,
it later,
right.
but what is your plan?
Okay.
Second step. The third step is how can I execute consistently in a way that works for me? So we're all busy. We
Right.
all got lives.
Right.
It's almost impossible to really be posting on social media every day without
Right.
scheduling, without having a plan, or
Right.
without at least acknowledging I only have 2 hours
Right.
after week to really focus on marketing.
Right.
So how am I going to execute consistently?
Right.
Those are the 3 steps you really need to worry about. That take care of everything that you have to do.
Every
Goals,
umbrella.
plan, consistent execution.
Okay.
That's the whole formula.
Okay. So since you just gave us the three steps, for master marketing, we're gonna dive into those steps.
Let's do it.
On step 1, you said goals.
Yeah.
So for you to have goals, I feel like you have to, like we mentioned before, effectively know what your business is doing.
Yeah.
And so if I'm okay, I'm gonna take my business down, make it for example. I'm coming up with the software that helps businesses with demand forecasting, AI integration,
Yeah.
all that good stuff. So if I know what I want to do, I know what my end goal is, but I'm gonna act like I don't.
Okay.
If I don't know what my end goal is, how do I figure out what my end goal is? If I just come up with an idea and say this is what I want to do because I like it, I don't know who I want to sell it to. I don't know where I want to go with it. I don't know what platforms I want to put it on. I don't know how I want to execute it.
Okay.
None of that. I just
Okay.
know this is what I want to do.
So I would ask you first overall
Mm-hmm.
what it is that you want to accomplish
Mm-hmm.
with the software. So what it is that so what is it that you want to accomplish?
What I want to accomplish is take away the headache of research, of knowing if that product is in demand, knowing, basically, is this gonna make money? I want
Okay.
to take away that headache for anybody that wants to start a business, anybody that has a business,
Right.
stuff like that.
So what does success look like this year for that?
For that, this year, success will look like having a beta product.
Okay.
I'm already in the customer interview phase, so
Okay.
having at least 50 customer interviews done.
Okay.
Having surveys done for people on the internet. So
Okay.
like if normal people, if it can be used for regular
Yeah.
day-to-day people, and really just kind of getting out of the I want to do it phase and
Right.
actually doing it.
Okay. So the hardest part I've heard from that, and we're gonna pinpoint on that, is the beta product.
Right.
What all is necessary for you to have that out? Money,
Mm-hmm.
time,
Mm-hmm.
employees. Tell me what all is needed for that.
For the beta product, I have to decide if I want to do a code product, if I want to do code, or if I want to do no code for the
Okay.
software.
Okay.
I also have to decide if it needs to be web based, if it needs to be an app, if it
Right.
needs to be kind of like where you have to download it. As far as employees, if I'm going to do code, I have to find a coder.
Right.
I'm not the best at social media, but I think that's just a assumption after hearing you talk. But maybe it's social media marketer. And really just connecting with people that can bring insight and value to the software, and if it'll be possible to even have it to where AI can be integrated effectively without using already out AI products.
Yeah. So right there, that's your finish line for this year because pretty much you want to have end product, you want to have 50 customer interviews, and you want to go ahead and execute and be out that dream phase and actually
Right.
doing phase. And so those are the three things. Like everything that you're doing this year, it should be geared toward those three things
Okay.
right there. So like for that first thing, it sounds like you will first need to decide if it's going to be code or no code.
Right.
And then from there, if it is going to be code, now you need to figure out how to recruit people.
Right.
Are you going to pay them or are you not? Because that's going to determine if you really need money this year or not.
Right.
Because if you're going to pay them, of course, you need to figure out, okay, how much do I need
Right.
in order to pay them? If it's going to be intern, then okay, you don't really need
Right.
bread. They're
Right.
getting the experience.
Right.
And so right there, that's your finish line right
Right.
there. So everything that you're doing this year, if it's not going towards those three things, it's probably wasting your
Right.
time.
It's not one of the goals that you
Exactly.
set out for that year. Okay.
And that's how you set a goal. Like really, all you need is a clear visual finish line.
Right.
For what you accomplish.
Right. Okay. So when you think about your idea, come up with basically just see what you have to do to execute that idea, and that is what you'll get your goals from.
Yeah.
Once you come up with an idea, you think about, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this,
Exactly.
and you pick from that what your
Yeah.
goals should be for that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Just dream, and then what are the steps for your dream to be a reality?
Oh,
Pretty much.
It's that simple.
That's the fun. The goals are the fun part.
That-
but a
that
lot of
is the
people
fun
don't
part,
set the
right.
visual goals part. They may have an idea
Right.
of what they want, but have they literally put it on paper
Right.
and literally said, okay, in order for this year to be a success,
Right.
like because you already know when we go into 2026,
Right.
everybody gonna have New Year's resolution.
Right.
I want to go ahead and think about my New Year's resolution now.
Okay.
So, like, what does that finish line look like? That's the fun part.
Yeah.
The goal should literally be the fun part.
Okay. And then that leads me into the next step, which is
Yep.
planning. And you
Yep.
just mentioned it. How do I plan ahead for not necessarily unforeseen things, but I would say kind of like plan ahead to make sure that those goals are reached in full. So let's say, for example, after we just talk through it, okay, I'm like, okay, I know I need to know if I need to do no code or no code. I need to know if I need to hire somebody,
Right.
and I need to know how I'm gonna go through that process.
Yeah.
So how do I go about planning that if I don't have a clear vision yet?
Well, you're gonna have to figure that out first
Right.
before you even get to the planning part.
Right.
So that's going to be the key. So
Right.
now it's time to make those
Okay.
decisions. Okay, I need to go ahead and decide code, no code,
Okay.
code. I need to decide, like just making those decisions because you can't really make a plan if
Right.
a lot
If
of
you
things are
still
still
have
in the air.
choices, right?
Now, when it comes to kind of planning to make sure nothing happens, something is always going to happen.
Right.
Like you'll make a plan, I guarantee you 75% of that plan won't work.
Right.
But that's the beauty of it.
Right.
You know, everything happens for a reason. It always ends up working out.
Yep.
So don't let that deter you. And
Right.
don't try to over plan to try to prevent something from happening.
Right.
That's also going to mess you up. Just go ahead and make a plan. That way, when life happens, that way, when, you know, things happen, you know where your road is.
Right.
Like when you start getting off the road, you at least know where your
How to
road
get
is.
back
That's
on
what
track.
the plan
Right.
is for.
Okay.
It's just for you mentally to know, okay, I had a bad week last week,
Mm-hmm.
didn't really get stuff accomplished.
Right.
What can I do this week to get back online?
Right. Okay.
That's what the plan is for. And then, so let's pretend like you decide to go with code.
Right.
And you need people. You
Right.
start recruiting people.
Yep.
If you want to think about possible scenarios that might happen, more than likely your first group of people may not be the people you end up with.
Right.
Just make peace with that.
Right.
But I guarantee you, you will learn lessons from that first group of people.
Right.
It'll help you
Right.
with that second group of
Right.
people. That's how it happened with my entrepreneur journey. Like my first business was to try to develop an app.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually had experience with recruiting students on campus
Right.
to code and everything because I don't know how to code. I don't
Right.
know nothing about that.
Mm-mm.
So, but my first group of people, man, went through them fast. Like, you know, it just didn't work out.
Right.
But it kind of taught me lessons even about myself as far as like how to
Right.
lead a team, how to communicate, you know, things that's necessary, things, what's reality, what
Right.
can be created, what can't be created.
Right.
So have a plan. Don't expect things to go perfect. Be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And take lessons from literally every stage.
Yep. Yep. I think that's what makes a business fun because a lot of people think of a business as like, oh, I don't want to, have to make decisions for the rest of my life. But what makes a business fun is literally the journey through the business. It's not the success. It's not the money. It's how you adapt to everything that's thrown at you, pretty much. And that happens when you already have a plan in the beginning. That way, okay, I need to get back over here because that's not aligned with the plan.
Exactly.
So in terms of planning for marketing,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm doing, let's just say you mentioned LinkedIn. Let's just say I'm doing LinkedIn. How do I plan that content to make sure that I'm being on that platform consistently?
So let's think about your target customer. Do you already kind of know what type of person will use your software?
For me, it would be a small business, maybe just in startup. They know all the steps that they want to take. They know their plan. They know what they want to do. And businesses kind of in the middle, I guess, medium type of business stage.
Okay.
Not really big businesses right now because I feel like they already know how to navigate the type of stuff that I'm offering.
Yeah.
I'm just offering the service to people that don't really know how to navigate it to make it easier for them to get to that big business stage.
Okay. How many people have you talked to about your business idea?
So far I've done 3 customer interviews, one in the beginning phase, one that's starting up. They have a clothing brand, so they've been doing it thus far, and then actually just 2, and then I'm talking to somebody tomorrow that owns a software. So I'm trying to see if it could be used in all aspects of business right now.
Okay. Tell me how one of those customer interviews went. Just kind of give me like a few things. Maybe you asked them or they asked you.
A few things I asked them was like what's their ideal vision for how they automate their systems.
Right.
So do they want to hire somebody to order their stuff when it gets low? Do they want to have a system that informs them like, hey, you have low stock?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and automatically order it for you. Stuff like that. And then another question was how do you want your software to be tailored to your business? Do you want it
Right.
to be customizable to where it goes with the flow of your business and it's not interrupting? Or
Right.
do you just want the software how it comes, however it comes?
Okay.
And so those were two main questions I've asked so far.
Okay. And then what were some responses? And it's a reason I'm asking.
The response to the first question was they would rather have it where it's automatically ordered for them. They don't have to worry about it. It's not a hassle. They don't have to go in, check inventory, and say, okay, this is in, this is in. I have to reorder that.
Right.
They rather just have it as an automatic process. And then the customization question, a lot of people would have more likely want to have it as to where it's part of their business. They don't feel like they're using somebody else's product.
Yeah.
They want it to feel like it's a part of their business integration.
Yeah. So everything you told me, that's your content right there. Like, so I did two things there. First, we looked at real conversations that you had in person. Those are the perfect pieces of social media content.
Right.
Remember what we said early on, the stuff you post on social media
Right.
is the same stuff you would say in person or in a room
Right.
to these people.
Right.
That's perfect. Like, frequently asked questions, information your audience should know, testimonials, educational stuff that make
Right.
their lives easier. That's your bread and butter
Okay.
content. Now, let's say that you really, you already use that stuff.
Right.
And you're just trying to figure out more content.
Right.
You remember the questions I asked you? I asked you if you already done the interviews.
Right.
I asked you to tell me what your ideal audience is.
Right.
And then what were responses you got. You can ask yourself those questions. Like, whenever I'm like, because I have to do that with myself,
Right.
with my own social media content. Like, and I'm 7 years
Right.
in the game, and
Right.
I run out of ideas all the time.
Right.
I'm thinking about, okay, what are recent conversations I've had about my business? Like,
Okay.
what are things that people have asked me? I've asked people, what are their responses? That's stuff I need to put out there
Right.
online. Because think about, if that's the common information you're hearing, I guarantee you more people online have that same sentiment.
Right. Right.
And then also, you want to connect with the type of people you're interviewing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So the people that's going to relate with, those are the people you want to get in touch with anyway.
Right.
So it's going to be spot on
For that
what they're
person.
thinking.
Right.
So they're
Right.
like,
Okay.
man, she's in my mind.
Right. Right.
You
right.
know, but that's the stuff that you kind of want to get.
Okay. Okay.
So this is why I say the strategy part of social media is the simple part.
Right.
The
right.
more simple you make it, you really realize, oh snap.
That's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, like, once you figure out, the type of content that you want to make,
Yeah.
which will be easier as you think through,
Mhm.
what you want to do, the questions you ask yourself, and the stuff you're already doing on day to day life. That's really going into customer psychology, because a lot of people say, oh, you got to be in the customer's head, you got to know what the customer is thinking. But if you just think about it, you already know what the customer is thinking because you're doing it already.
Yeah.
And so once you figure that out, do you plan to post maybe like twice a week? Do you plan to post once a week, or does it just depend on the business and how they operate?
If I were to give you an answer, it would be 3 to 5 times a week. 3 at the minimum. Like, if you don't have a habit of posting,
Right.
just I say 3 is good enough to go ahead and get your feet wet for people to still kind of see you.
Mm-hmm.
5, if you've been posting, want more results, do the Monday through Friday thing.
Right.
If you want to go all star,
Right.
of course, 7 days a week is what I'll do. And then as far as like making that easy for you to do, create like a content calendar.
Right.
And really all you gotta do is Google a regular month calendar.
Right.
Like, you just need spaces, or you can get a piece of paper 1 through 30.
Right.
And just kind of think about, okay, what am I gonna talk about the first day? A common question I get. What is my business about? The second day could be, what are ways we've helped people in the past, or how can we help people? And just do that all 30 days.
All
And
the days.
then and then go ahead, if you want to get bonus points, go ahead and create the visuals on Canva, or if some of those going to be text, if you're going to do a video, go ahead and create those visuals, put them in an online folder like Google Drive or Dropbox.
Right. Okay.
Boom, now you've just created a month's worth of content.
Okay.
Like, you can do that in a couple of days, or if you got the time, you can do that on Sunday.
Right.
And then if you're just starting off, I say go ahead and just do a week worth.
Right.
Like, don't take
Take
it
it-
too
take
fast.
it a
Yeah,
step
take it a
at a
little
time.
slow.
Right.
So just go ahead and do a week, and then create the visuals for that week. and then boom. Now most platforms allow you to schedule content for
Right.
free.
Right.
On Facebook and Instagram, you got Meta Business Suite.
Right. Mm-hmm.
On LinkedIn, I, I believe they may have gave everybody access, but I know on a lot of people's LinkedIn, you can just go on LinkedIn when you about to post. They have like a little clock
Mm-hmm.
at the bottom. You can schedule your content ahead. Go
Right.
ahead and schedule that content that you've already know what you're talking about.
Right.
You already created the visuals.
Right.
Go ahead and plug that bad boy in.
And wait for it to upload. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing, since we were talking about LinkedIn, switch to probably like Instagram or TikTok or something.
Right,
If
right.
I'm doing something where you got to create reels or you got to create TikToks,
Yeah.
how do I go about filming that content? Do I just sit the camera down, talk to it on one day and record 50 videos that day to have the post throughout the month, or do I take it as I post a video this day that I recorded, or how do you suggest?
Think about what works best for you naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm gonna go ahead and record multiple videos in one sitting because I
Right.
know me. Like if I got time on Monday, more than likely I don't got that time the rest of the week, or
Right.
at least I'm not thinking about it.
Right.
So I'm gonna do that. But I know a lot of people, they naturally may have like a 20-minute drive to work and they naturally record every day just because that's
Right.
how they naturally
Right.
are. I'm not a person that likes to be in front of the camera all the time.
Right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do it in bulk.
Right.
And you can get the camera, go ahead and set it up, talk to it.
Right.
For a lot of people, it really scares them being in front of the camera. So I
Mm-hmm.
always recommend just go ahead and record yourself to practice, build a habit.
Right.
You ain't gotta post it. That way you ain't got no pressure when you're recording on the phone.
Right.
It's for your eyes.
Right.
So just go ahead and build up that habit of recording. Um, and so just whatever naturally works
Right.
for you.
Okay.
As far as, if you know that you don't get this time every day or
Right.
you're not a natural camera person, go ahead and record in bulk. If you already taking pictures every day and recording,
Do it like that.
yeah,
Right.
because I know one person that recorded in bulk
Mm-hmm.
and she changed outfits each thing so it seemed like it's on a different day.
Right.
I ain't on that level of commitment. I'm gonna let you go ahead and see that I got the same outfit. I don't really
Right.
care. I don't
Right.
really
Right.
care. But whatever works for you.
Okay, I like that because a lot of people say, oh, if you have this business, you got to do this, record this amount of videos in one day, or if you got like a consulting business, you can only record videos every day and post it when you record it. But it makes a lot more sense to do what comes natural to you.
Yeah.
Because me, I'm not a camera person. I tried it. I can't sit in front of the camera and just talk to the camera.
Yeah.
And that's why I made a podcast. I'm a naturally curious person.
Yeah.
And I can get across what I'm trying to get across by asking other people those questions that I'm trying to answer.
Yeah.
So just do what comes natural and adjust as you go. Because
Yeah.
if you feel like, oh man, that didn't feel right, then okay, do something else.
Exactly.
I think that's great advice. And so the third step was, what was the third step?
Execute.
Execution. Right. So if I'm looking to execute, so once I think through my strategy, I plan it out, I plan out my content. If I'm thinking about execution, what do you consider execution? Is that, making money and, getting it out there, or just like posting a product on the Apple Store or something like that?
Yeah, so just like literally the execution part, like from social media to you going ahead and getting your product out there to what is YouTube, like pretty much when you've putting in the work. Like so
Right.
like because the planning part you gotta think about. Planning is really like we went from the dream to now we're planning, all right, how can I make this a reality?
Right,
What's
right.
that step 0 to 10?
Right.
Execution is literally everything
Just doing
after
it.
that.
Right.
Like whether it's you've created your Facebook page and now I'm posting on Facebook
Right.
consistently.
Okay.
So, and I want to emphasize consistent executions because like you can create a Facebook page and not do anything with it. That's
Right.
not consistent execution. You may have did that task, and that's the part about being a business owner. If you had a great week last week, that doesn't carry over to this week. You got to do that all over again. And that's one thing I learned about sales. Well, I learned that in sales. So
Right.
it was one company I ended up breaking 2 records, sales records. One for most sales by 2 people in one day, and one for most sales in a week.
Okay.
More than likely, when I had a good sales week, the next week was trash because I was
Right,
feeling,
right.
I was feeling too good. I was like, all
Too
right,
cocky about it.
yeah.
Right.
So I didn't feel like I had to work, or I felt like it came natural at this point. Nah,
Right.
if you got to work every week at it.
Right.
It's like in basketball, LeBron didn't get great. Michael Jordan didn't get great. Kobe Bryant didn't get great. Esau had to add all three because some people don't
Right.
know.
Some people think somebody is better than the other.
Right,
Right.
but they didn't get great by having one good season, two good seasons.
Right.
They was great. They brought it every season, every game.
Right.
So as a business owner, you got to have that mindset. You got to bring it every day.
Right.
Because just because you brought in a great month last month, that's not going to help you this month.
Right.
And also, if you have a trash month this month, you just cut your last month's revenue in half.
Right.
Because now you compensating for this month.
Right.
So with the execution, got to be the same thing. Like every day, I have to do something towards those. Let's say we're talking about you towards those three things that
those
you
three
listed.
goals that I
Every month, every week, every day, just doing a little something, towards those three things. That's the consistent execution. Whatever it is, you need to do to make that a reality to accomplish that. That's consistent execution.
Okay, I like how you use sports as an example because a lot of people don't think it's business like that. They think, oh, I do this one time, I'm set up for life. No, people that play sports, people that go to the gym, even people that in college, you don't just study one day and think, oh, I'm gonna make 100 on my
this test. Next test, I'm good.
Or you don't work out one day and be like, oh, I'm good. I don't gotta work out. I'm in the NBA. I'm fine. I'm gonna get paid either way. No, that's not how you have to work consistently every day, every week, every month towards the same thing that you want to accomplish. I think that's a very good example of how business goes because a lot of people, even probably me in the beginning, I was like, oh snap, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make some money, it's gonna be easy breezy. No,
it wasn't easy breezy.
No, it was not easy breezy. It was in fact the opposite.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. So okay, so in marketing, when you're marketing inside your business outside of social media marketing, how should you go about doing that? Because I know a lot of people say, oh, email marketing, text message marketing, the DM marketing, stuff like that. So what would you say for a business starting, or maybe somebody that's already got started, is that some good things to implement into their business?
So you remember the thing I said I was going to come back to when we was playing? This is it.
Okay.
So there's this thing called the sales process. Some people call it the sales funnel, the buyer's journey, whatever it is. I like to say sales process because it's simple. So how do you turn a stranger into a consistent customer? So first thing you need to think about is, how do I consistently get in front of new people that will be interested in what I have?
Right.
So that could be networking. It can be ads. It can be you going classroom to classroom, door to door.
Right.
It can be you DMing.
Right.
You got to think about what can you do to, however many numbers. So like for me, my goal is $100,000. In a year. Let's say that. So there's a certain amount of effort I need to put in to get $100,000. So maybe DMing people is not the best use of my time because I'm gonna have to DM a lot of people. Because if you think about it, if I'm reaching out to you, then I gotta even get you interested.
Right.
And I'm not gonna get a lot of responses and things like that. So maybe I need to do like inbound marketing. Inbound marketing is where people come to you. Like I make a social media post and people who are interested come to me. So that way the people I'm talking to, we're at least having productive conversation.
Right.
So you got to think about, how can I get the number of interested people that I need, like to even know I exist.
Right.
What do I need to do to make that happen?
Right.
And that relates to your goal.
Right.
And so, boom, whatever that is. So that's how you decide on that level. What do I need to do? All right, boom. Let's say, for me, it's networking. I go to like Chamber of Commerce's and I network at events, to get introduced to new people.
Right.
From there, let's say I meet someone who possibly needs help with social media, or they're at least interested in what I do. I connect them to my social media page.
Right.
So boom, I use Facebook and LinkedIn. So let's say it's small businesses, I connect them to my Facebook. So boom, I connect them to my Facebook page. You remember what we talked about earlier, the content I'm pushing.
Right.
It's the same content I would say to them in person.
Right.
And that's why it's important to fill your social media with the people that want what you have, or at least understand your language. Because the content I'm talking about are the people I want in the room. So I'm deciding who's in my room.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so boom, I connect them to my Facebook page because every day I'm posting about something that helps you.
Right.
Boom, that's that. So I'm including call to actions, which are where I want them to go. They can book a meeting with me, go to my website. From there, I want them to book a meeting with me because that's the next step.
Right.
Having that one-on-one conversation. I need to figure out what you got going on. I consider it like a doctor. When you go to the doctor, you sick, you want to get well. You don't think about a doctor trying to sell you something. You think about a
Right.
doctor trying to help you out.
Right.
So to me, as a marketer, as a business owner, I consider myself a doctor. Let me have a
Right.
meeting with you. Let's get a diagnosis going.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check up. Here's what is wrong. Here's the solution. I can help you. You can go make the
Right.
medicine yourself.
Right. You can do.
However you want to go about it.
Right. Right. Right.
It's gonna be a fee if I help you because I got the added value.
Right. Right.
If you want to take that risk on doing it yourself, you might end up getting worse at doing the same. But hey,
Right.
that's on you.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. So boom, that's the next step. Is that one-on-one meeting? Then if they want to work with me, boom, close the sale.
Right.
What are the tools and platforms that I need in order to send an invoice? Or
Right.
if it's online, if you're an online store, it's them paying out, checking out.
Okay.
So like that's how you figure out what you need, what content, what tools and platforms. You
Right.
see, I
Okay.
don't need 20 different platforms to
Right.
make that happen. I just probably named 2 or 3 that I
Right.
only need. I need a Chamber of Commerce membership.
Mm-hmm.
I need a Facebook and LinkedIn page.
Mm-hmm.
I need a online calendar schedule, whatever I need,
Right.
or website so that people can book a meeting with me. And then I need a way to send them an invoice. Only 4 tools that I need. And so boom, I got my whole process.
Mm-hmm.
I got the content. I
Mm-hmm.
got the tools. I got everything I need in those simple 4 steps.
Right. Okay.
And
Okay.
I just walked you through my whole buyer's journey.
Exactly. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I know I watch a lot of podcasts and stuff, and a lot of people say, "Oh, you got to do the sales funnel, and you got to do this and do that and do that." But how you explain it just makes it a lot more simple, because I think in terms of you explaining it, it's just be yourself and do what's natural to you and your business. You don't have to go out, and if you don't want to do outbound and email a whole bunch of people, because a lot of people say on podcasts, like if you have a consulting business, you have to go and DM 100,000 people a day so you can get a return and people will be interested in you. No, you can do inbound
Yeah.
for consulting. Just make it to where you like in person, in people's faces. What's natural to you? I'm a natural talker. I can talk your head off all day, and so that would be what would be best for me.
Yeah.
So I think you put it into a great perspective of where people don't have to do, what everybody else is doing. I mean, you can do what other people are doing because like that's the structure. You don't have to reinvent the wheel,
Right.
but do it in the way that suits you, and that makes a lot of sense. So when you're doing the sales funnel and everything like that, walk us through how to keep reoccurring customers,
Okay.
because that's a key part in marketing too.
Yeah.
Because of course you have to get in front of new people, but you also want to keep the people that's already spending money with you.
For sure.
So how do you go about that in terms of marketing and social media and all that?
So that's actually the last step of the sales process and sales funnel. Like whenever I'm teaching people the process, I'm always like, the sale doesn't stop after you get a yes.
Right.
That's
right.
actually them going into your other part.
Right.
So is you having something available for reoccurring customers, and a way to keep in contact with them. So think about if you went to go get your car worked on, right? Let's say the check engine light came on, or your engine not acting right. You go
Right.
get the engine fixed. A good way for them to keep you as a customer, them calling you in like a week. Hey, how's that engine
Right.
working for you?
Right. Checking up on
Is there anything or when's the last time you had an oil change? Just
Right.
having just kind of keeping that communication line open, or doing things that other people wouldn't do.
Right. Okay.
If you want to learn sales, there's a guy called Zig Ziglar. He passed now, but he has great books and great stuff. He talked about when he went to the dentist one time. He had like a major procedure worked on. The dentist called him that night, asked him, "Hey, are you
Right.
feeling any discomfort? Anything? How's it working for you with
Right.
genuine care?" And he said he will never go to another dentist again,
Right.
other than him, because of that genuine care and just caring about people.
Right.
And
Right.
also just the follow up and making sure that what you sold them, what you provided for them, worked.
Is up to
And
par for them.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, like, and if it's not, hey, let me go ahead and fix that for
Right.
you, or I'm sorry that happened. Let me get that right.
Okay.
Actual care, and that's one of the things that I feel like separates also Chick-fil-A from other fast food
Right.
places. Is just like that genuine care and customer service, because we're in a day and age to where customer service and customer experience is not a priority for a lot of businesses anymore, and so. And that's sad because you're spending your money with a company.
Right.
Why are you not like why are you acting like it's a
treatment,
bother
right.
for me to be here? Like,
Right. You treat me like I'm a nuisance or
like
something.
yeah,
Right.
like
Right.
I ain't gotta be here. And so just showing somebody care and experience is really big, and correcting a wrong. Like, you don't have to pretend to always be perfect,
Right.
but always try to look out for what's best for the other person. And so, like, there's different things you can do for a reoccurring customer. Like, don't treat them like a sale.
Right.
You know, don't see them for a dollar sign. Making sure that their problem is actually solved.
Right.
Follow up. Keep up the communication, and actually have something to sell them again reoccurringly. Because
Right.
you know, you can do all those things, you know, but if you don't have nothing to sell them
Right.
reoccurringly, you can't make money off
Right.
of that. You know, not saying don't check up on them, but
Right.
you know, you don't profit for that. You
Right.
know, in order for you to stay in business, you got to make money. And so, like, as an animation company, one of the things that we did was, because we started off with making videos for marketing and that you put on your website and
Right.
stuff. But we started getting into like series, like videos,
Right.
like,
Okay.
you know, what are other type of videos that people need to market themselves? Like, you know, how we talked about different pieces of content. Hey, we can we can recommend you these different pieces of content that you
Right.
can have, or you can have we can help you start a YouTube channel.
Right.
Just all
Different
these
aspects,
different things, yeah, after you get your first video,
Right.
you know, so just having something to offer them.
Okay, I like what you said, because a lot of people say, "Oh, to keep reoccurring customers, you have to send out email saying, oh, hey, don't forget you left this in your cart, or don't forget about us, or saying just basically
Cliche stuff.
basically getting on people's nerves,
Yeah.
because don't nobody want you to text them and be like, oh, you ain't buy your cart. Maybe they don't got the money to buy their cart right then.
Right,
Now
right.
you
Like,
just
I know, I left the cart there.
literally. So I like what you said about actually being a genuine person and checking up on people, and basically just being kind as a business owner. I think that's where a lot of businesses disconnect from their customers. You don't actually value that person as a person.
Yeah.
You think they're a number, you think they're a dollar. You don't
Yeah.
actually value them and what they think and how they felt through your business.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key aspect that people need to start implementing, because
Yeah.
as you said, now businesses just don't care. Like, you can go to, Sonic or something, and they like, dude,
Bye.
like, here go your food, get out my line.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's not how people want to be treated.
no, and I mean, that's how you get customers out, and that's how you keep them. Like, because if you think about, like, I think about everything we talked about. Think about the content that we said post on social media. What do we
Right.
say? Talk to people.
Right.
What do we say on how to pick the platform that you're on? Think about who your people are, where
Right,
they hang out.
right.
Like, the thing, like, somewhere along the line, when people start a business, they forget that they serve people. Like, they feel
Right.
like it's different in life. Like, the way you get a customer is the way you get a friend.
Exactly.
It's the same step. Because think
Exactly.
about the sales process. They first got to know you exist.
Right.
When I get a friend, they first got to know I exist.
Right.
Then, boom, y'all start hanging out with each other, seeing y'all share common
Right,
interests. Y'all got to
right.
talk more, right? Y'all got to, hang out or text
Go
or
play basketball
something.
or something.
Like,
right.
y'all got a bond.
Right.
And then y'all realize, okay, I rock with you.
Right.
Okay, boom. Then y'all start hanging out a little bit more, talking about, like, deeper stuff, talking about specifically, hey, man, this is what I went through in life, or, like, this is who I am as a person. Y'all
Right.
learning each other. And then, boom, one day y'all became, like, friends, best friends, whatever the relationship is. It's the same. Like,
The same.
life is the same process in
Right.
business. And somewhere along the lines, we felt like it was different.
Right.
And that's
right.
where we lost.
Right.
It's simple.
Right.
Keep it simple.
Right. I like what that you said there, because I watch Myron Golden.
Yeah.
And he often says, like, the Bible is just the, blueprint to life.
Right.
And if you look at it, it's genuinely, the Bible is just telling you, be a good person. That's literally all you have to do.
Yeah.
Be a good person. Be a good neighbor. And you'll succeed in life. And I think that's a very key aspect businesses are missing, because they're like, oh, that's just a number on my billboard. I got to just get them to buy it. And people also, too, with bigger brands, though, they kind of think like, oh, I just got to sell a lifestyle. But it's not all about lifestyle to some people. Some people genuinely care about the person and the business that you are, and how you uphold your integrity, and how your character shines through what you're producing. A lot of people don't think about that, which is crazy, because if you was to get a wife or a girlfriend, you wouldn't be like, oh, I don't care about her. I'm not going to buy her flowers. I'm not going to check up on her when she, going through things. If you did that, that girl probably put sugar in your gas tank. She probably put sugar in your gas tank because you playing with her feelings. It's the same thing with business. I'm not gonna buy from you if you don't care about me. Point blank, period.
Bro, please tell me you ain't done that before.
I've never put sugar in nobody's gas tank, but from my hometown,
That's
a lot of people have gotten sugar gas tanks around there.
where you from?
Monticello, Mississippi.
Okay, I'm gonna stay away from there.
Yeah, don't go there. Don't go there. They're gonna put sugar in your gas tank. Them women down there don't play at all. But yeah, so we gonna get back on track. On marketing.
Right,
So
right.
with marketing, so how do you suggest people tell their story through their marketing? Because I know we plan in the content, do what's natural to you. But how do you execute storytelling through marketing? Because that's what's important. You kind of have to sell the story of going from point A to point B. And that's where a lot of people disconnect because they don't know how to, tell a good story or something like that.
Be authentic. Like, what's your story? Like, only you know your story.
Mm-hmm.
Only you could be you. Like, because think about what we talked about with target audience. Like, when you think about, like, if you're reaching an ideal customer,
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about the people you interviewed.
Right.
When you put the information they gave you, somebody's out there going to resonate with it
Right.
naturally. I mean, think about you as a person. Think about the people that you hang out or hang around with.
Mm-hmm.
They connected with you naturally just because you being you.
Right. Right.
Your customers the same way. Like, tell your story however you naturally tell your story.
Right.
With your personality.
Right.
Like, because you can't... You gonna suck at being somebody else. I'm gonna tell you right now. You gonna suck at being somebody else, but you gonna be the best player on your team being
Right.
you.
Right.
Like, nobody can be you like you ever.
Right.
So, like, that's what you have going for you. Like, and so just tell your story how you would.
Right.
In a way that's comfortable for you as much as you want to tell it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and honestly, that's the only way you can do it. Right there. Because people can feel fake.
Right, yeah.
Like, but people can also feel authentic.
Right.
People can feel passionate at the same time.
Right.
And so, like, if I'm telling you my story, and it's my true, authentic story,
Mm-hmm.
you probably gonna rock with it. You might just rock with it just because I'm just being me.
Honest, right.
Like, yeah.
Being honest about
because
it.
in this day and age, we got a lot of people that's faking.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why people don't like politics, because we don't know what's real from what's fake
Right,
at this point.
right.
You might be telling me something and then doing something else.
And it's actually not what's happening. Yeah, that's definitely a key aspect to just human interaction. Honestly, be honest. Don't lie. If you ain't got a Bugatti, you just ain't got a Bugatti. Don't tell somebody you got a Bugatti.
Yeah.
Don't rent a Bugatti and be in there and take a picture.
I wasn't even thinking about a Bugatti before you mentioned it. Like,
Literally.
So
You telling me a unasked for lie?
Yeah.
For what?
And now I can't believe nothing else you tell me at this
Exactly,
point. Like,
exactly. So when talk about stories, we're gonna transition into ads because you mentioned ads.
Okay.
Is it important to tell stories through ads, or is an ad just simply an ad just to get a sale?
An ad is another, like, it's pretty much the same as we talked about with social media.
Right.
An ad is you're paying to reach more people.
Right.
So you still need to get that message on lock.
Right.
Like, so if you don't have your message on lock, like, if I have, what's something you are not interested in?
I don't know. I'm interested in a lot. Baseball. I hate baseball.
Okay. So I can pay to, like, if I'm selling baseball tickets or something like that, I can put $100 down so that you see baseball every single day of the month. Doesn't matter how many times I put it in front of you, it's a no.
Right.
So my message, like, I put the ad out there many times. Like, I'm talking about, like, hitting you with it hard.
Right. Every day.
The message is off.
Right.
The target audience is off. So I'm not gonna sell them tickets to you.
Right.
So I need to get my message and stuff right. And so I always like to practice with organic content. And then, boom, let me amplify the results.
Right.
That's what you're doing with ads. Like, I got my message right. I know who I'm targeting. Let me now go find more people like this.
Okay.
And that's what you're doing. Just amplifying the results that you know you're going to get.
Right.
So you got to think about an ad like that. Because picture you somebody pay for a Super Bowl TV commercial. They're not going to get commercials. I mean, they're not going to get customers just because they got a Super Bowl commercial.
Right.
No. And they're not going to get customers because it's entertaining either.
Right.
It has to be relevant to your brand. That's why making money off of viral content is hard because it's easy to go viral. It's hard to go viral for a relevant reason to your business.
Right.
Like that's a whole different world. And so you just gotta think about ads as amplifying and getting in front of more people. I'm just paying to grow my room. I'm just paying to turn this 100 room place into an auditorium of thousands.
Right.
But if my message still suck,
Right, it ain't gonna work.
boo.
And if it sucks too, you're gonna be in a room with 1,000 people you don't want to be in a room with.
Exactly.
You gonna be in a room with somebody that don't even give a crap about what you saying. You just had a good ad, and they just like, oh, that's interesting.
That's cool. They scroll.
Right. So I think a lot of people don't think about it like that. Like when people start businesses, they're like, oh, I gotta do ads, I gotta market, I gotta get it out there, I gotta make money. But I think organic content is a great way to understand your target audience, because before that you don't know who you're looking for.
Yeah.
You just know you want to serve these type of people.
Yeah.
But you don't know what these type of people look like. So if you don't know that, you can't run an ad, because in ads you gotta put demographic, age, all that type of stuff. You not gonna know that at all.
And the thing about it, Facebook still gives you a range of how many people may see it. Like if your ad, like they'll show you like this between 100 and 1,000 people can see this. If your ad suck, they still only showing it to 100 people. You spending the same amount of money.
Right.
So like even Facebook saying, hey, it's only so much we can do for the player.
We can push it out there, but you got to do it a little better.
Exactly.
Okay. And so how important would you say quality is to marketing? Like the quality of the email that you're sending to that returning customer, or the quality of that content, or the quality of that ad. Does that add value to the customer to make a decision, or is it kind of just an extra matrix that people are saying that you need to have?
It's probably one of the most important things, because people always and it goes back to the question you asked earlier: how many times should I post? People always ask how many times should I send an email.
Right.
I always say when you have something to say. Like if we just sit here at a coffee shop having a conversation. I don't need to talk just to fill space, because you just gonna be over here like, man, shut up.
Right, you gonna be sitting there like,
yeah. But if I'm over here dropping gems or over here talking, we laughing and joking and stuff.
Right.
You don't mind me saying something, because you getting something out of every time I say something.
Okay.
So like, if every time I send an email, it's me asking for something, or it's something you didn't ask for, you gonna stop opening emails. And you probably gonna unsubscribe. Probably gonna unfollow on social media. All that stuff. But if every time I'm saying something, or if majority of the time I'm actually adding value or having something to say, or it's quality, then you're tuning in majority of that time.
Okay.
And so the quality is probably one of the most important things when it comes to those things. It matters more than the quantity, because if I only have something to say one time out of the week on social media, I'm only gonna post one time out of the week. It's better than me posting seven times a week and not saying nothing.
Right. Or reiterating the same thing you already said. I think a lot of people do that, and a lot of people honestly don't think about like, oh, I don't have to force it. Just do what's natural. Like, do when you have something to say that's interesting, do that. When you have something to email that's coming up in the business, just do that, because other than that, somebody gonna be like, dang, that man Aggie. You keep sending me emails about irrelevant stuff. I don't want to know. Right. Unsubscribe.
It's just a time waster to you. And so I'd rather you post one time a week. It be quality. And then from there, you can just figure out how can I have more stuff to say.
Right.
Based off of this. Then you posting 7 times a week. And then now, okay, I need to, ain't nobody rocking with me.
How I think about it is, as you progress in business, you're naturally going to have more to say. In the beginning stages, all you have to say is what your business is, how you plan on executing that business, and who your business is for. That's it. You're not going to know anything. You're not going to know anything else, because you're at the beginning stages of your business. But if you're a big business, such like Louis Vuitton or something like that, you already know the big hitters buying your stuff. This is the type of outfits they wear. That's what I got to put out there. That's what people want to see. That's what's going to make them buy it. And so I think a lot of people forget that you have to be patient, and you're starting a business is not a get rich quick scheme. If you want to get rich quick scheme, you're gonna have to scam, because
big time.
Because it's not a business. It's not a business. Okay, so I think my last thing would be, what are some of the, the key, I guess, aspects that I need to understand about marketing. I know we talk about strategy. I know we talk about planning, execution, but in terms of like how to consistently market good every time? What are some key aspects that I have to understand?
Outside of those three things, just kind of using tools to your advantage, like
Mm-hmm.
artificial intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
chat GPT. So, like, one of the big questions you always going to have if you're using social media or email or any type of marketing is, what content do I need to be posting?
Right.
Use chat GPT as a brainstorming buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, tell a little bit about you. Hey, give me 10 things I can talk about. They can
Right.
bring me customers.
Okay.
And then, like, keep asking it that until you find 10 things that are number ones.
Right.
Oh, second thing, never forget you're dealing with people. Like,
Right. Yeah.
that's, we talked about that earlier. That's one thing
Right.
people forget when, we start a business. All of a sudden, we have brain
Right.
fart to where, man, what do I need to do to make more money?
Well, selling to a person.
Let me just think about what helps them.
Right. Literally.
So, like, really just thinking about
Right.
it's a people game. That's gonna set you apart from majority of the businesses.
Right.
Because sometimes I feel like the big businesses forget that.
Mm-hmm.
They get so many customers now. They're just object now. I call the customer service thing. It's somebody that don't want to help me. They just trying to save the company money.
Right.
I'm not rocking with them no more.
Right.
I don't care how big you are. And then third, just keeping it simple. Like,
Mm-hmm.
marketing has played a mind trick on us.
Mm-hmm.
It's even played it on me. Like, that's one of the hardest things about marketing. It feels like it needs to be complicated. I feel
Right.
like I need 5 social media platforms. I feel like I need to post 10 times a week, 20 times a week. I feel like my content needs to be on par with Coca-Cola.
Right.
Nah,
Right.
nah, I'm one person. I'm going to be me, one person, and I'm going to
Right.
be at my level.
Right.
I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to give myself grace. I'm going to know that I only really have time to post consistently 3 times a week.
Right.
I'm gonna keep it simple and do that, because when I try to overcomplicate it, I'm doing everything at a very low level.
Right.
And that's gonna be worse than
Right.
just anything. It's gonna be worse than not having anything. Well,
Right.
I mean, anyway, it's on the same level as not doing
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
So definitely using tools like AI or just different things to make your life easier. Never forget that you're interacting with people.
Mm-hmm.
Third, keeping marketing simple. I would say outside of the foundational 3 things we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
those are 3 things that I feel like can help you in
Right.
marketing.
Okay. I feel like this is a really informative episode. I mean, you taught me a lot that I can go apply to my new business model, to the podcast, even.
Yeah.
Just on the podcast, obviously, I'm myself. I'm talking to people just like I talk to them on a
As you
regular day.
should.
But through social media, I kind of found it hard to connect with people. But honestly, it's because I'm trying to connect to everybody. I want everybody to buy my stuff. But no,
Yeah.
I shouldn't want that. I should want
No.
the people that connect with who I am authentically
Yeah.
and connect with my business authentically to be the people that's in my room.
That's it.
And that's very important when it comes to business. Let me see. I don't think I have any more questions. I really appreciate you for being on today. Very informative episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're listening to it on podcast platform, please leave a 5-star rating. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next episode.